Hey, what's going on, friend? Juan Pablo here, the People's Mentor for 100%Finance.com. So today we're going to get into video 2 in the cash flow cycle, which is find the deal. So if you haven't watched the first video, Find the Money, I highly recommend you go watch that video prior to watching this video. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the screen share so you can know the ins and outs of how to find a deal where multi-unit investing is concerned. All right, guys, so we're back. So now we're going to discuss phase 2, find the deal. So hopefully in the first video, you found the money, you got your down payment money together, your soft costs, closing costs, reserves, all the money you need for phase 1. We hopefully you got all that stuff together, right? So the next part is phase 2, find the deal. So let's get into that. Whew. Now this is a part where it gets good, right? Because after you get your money together, now it's time to find a property that fits your pockets. So this is the process that we do with our MAP clients, and that's in our clients that's in the multi-unit acquisition program. So we have a team of agents, and these guys are hungry. They're looking to find properties that fit our clients' needs in our MAP program, in our multi-unit acquisition program. Now what we do is our AC, or acquisition coordinator, sends out an email to the agent saying like, hey, new client alert, pretty much. And in that email includes the following. It includes the client strategy, as we talked about, meaning this person can qualify for a 10-unit, a 5-unit, a 2-unit, a 4-unit. This is how much capital they have. So the purchase price might be $180,000. We outline all the specifics. As a shared, we outline also the client's available capital. They have $47,000 to invest. Their funding strategy, they're going to be using a low doc mortgage, they're using a commercial mortgage, they're using a credit union or what have you. And we also outline their max purchase price. So the client can afford a property up to $180,000. And the way that we calculate the maximum purchase price, we take the amount of capital you have and divide that by 32%. You might be thinking, why 32%? Because it's a good number that's inclusive of the down payment, which is 20%. And we have another 12% to account for reserves, closing costs, and soft costs. Soft costs are costs you incur prior to closing. Closing costs are costs such as, paying for the mortgage lender to do their work, the real estate agent, and so forth. Okay, so that's the reason why we came up with that number, 32%. So again, to calculate the maximum purchase price, we take the amount of capital the client has, we divide it by 32%, and that gives us the max PP. That's the purchase price. And we also give them a range for the unit. So some mortgages, they cap you at how many units you can acquire, especially if you're new. The main determining factor is, hey, are you experienced? If you're inexperienced, no worries. You can still get started as a multi-unit investor, but you have to get a property between 2 and 4 units. You might be thinking, well, Juan, I don't want to do 2 to 4 units. I have 50,000, I have 100,000, I want to go big. Hey, everyone wants to go big. I want you to go big. I want you to get a multifamily. However, mortgage lenders, they want to make sure you have the experience in that market. And if you're just getting started, brand new, wet behind your ears, then you got to start where you can start. Sometimes you got to crawl before you can walk, which is perfectly fine. That's me. In my situation, speaking from experience, first property, duplex. Next property, single family. Third property, 4-unit. Why? Because I wasn't able to qualify for a commercial mortgage 5 units and up. But after I did 3 deals, then I was able to move forward with multifamily, 5 units and up. Okay? So just keep that in mind. But getting back to the script, that's pretty much what we do. And by the way, this is Trainging. This is an online platform that we use in which we document all of our systems and processes. So we have a standard, repeatable process for every client in our MAP program. So that way you get quality service time in and time again, every single time. All right. So part 1 in finding the deal, we have agents, we send them email. And this is why we have a ton of agents. And we send out this email so that way they can compete for your business. We want those agents to be able to find the best deals out there that's on the market or off the market and present it to you. So the first one who gives the best deal that fits your criteria, more than likely will win you as a client, because I want our agent to compete for your business. But however, I don't want you to think that, oh, I'm just going to sit here and just like, oh, you know that deal has a nice cap rate, I'm going to forget about it. Oh, even though that deal, it has some sweet cash flow, I just want more. Hey, you got to be reasonable now, okay? So as long as it's a deal that meets our metrics, meaning it cash flows, it has a certain cash return and some built-in equity, then by all means, hop on it. Because if you don't, somebody else will. Just keep that in mind. All right, let's get to the next step. So the agents, as I shared, will hunt. I know that's a strong word, but it's so true because they're hungry. They're fighting for your business, right? So they will hunt for a deal that matches your client, the MAP client's strategy. Okay, so if the agent has pre-negotiated deals waiting in the queue, meaning they understand that we're always getting new clients in the MAP program. So the agents, just to stay on top of their game, are always fielding out deals, reaching other agents, other wholesalers, sellers, and so forth, to see if they're interested in selling the property. And the agent that, or buyer's agent that's working with us, they're already doing the negotiations. So that a client like yourself joins the program, bam, got a deal waiting for you, just ready to go. Okay, so in the queue. So then the agent will send the deal to the acquisition coordinator, which is like your point man, who tells you or advises you on what to do, when to do it, your liaison between you and all the other real estate professionals out there, to ensure the deal meets the 100 PF investing criteria, which is got to have cash flow, $100 per door, which is got to have 10% cash on cash return, which is got to have built-in equity or value add opportunity. Okay, so that's those 3 criteria. So the buyer's agent, when we say agent here, the buyer's agent will provide the acquisition coordinator with the following to audit the deal analyzer for accuracy. So this is what we do. As I shared, our acquisition coordinator, after they do the initial consultation with you, send out your information about the deal, the purchase price you can obtain, like I just discussed. The agents will hunt for a deal. They'll send out a potential deal to the acquisition coordinator. So before it gets to you, the acquisition coordinator, the AC, screens it and audits it, because they don't want to waste your time showing you a deal. And let's say the MAP agent, the buyer's agent, provides you with a deal in which the numbers didn't look good, or they provide you with a deal and it's a typo. They by mistake type in the wrong number in the deal analyzer. So we do that screening first. So just because you join the program and you don't see a deal within the first day or week or so, you think, oh no, there's no deals and no market's dried up. No, we go through a lot of deals. Our agents go through a lot of deals, and we have to make sure we screen them internally before we present them to you. Just have that extra layer of auditing in place, okay? So when they do, the MAP agents present you with a deal, we'll have the deal analyzer, just make sure that those metrics are met. A listing is pretty much an outline of the deal. Pictures of the property, the address, number of bedrooms, bath, the cash flow, well, not the cash flow, but the operating expenses, the income, the whole 9 yards. And they also provide additional information about their performance, meaning what's the cash flow looking like? What is the return looking like? Any equity in there? That's what we mean by performance. And if the MAP agent doesn't have a deal waiting in the queue, then the agent will negotiate the letter of intent. So what that means is, let's say this deal could be potentially a good deal for a MAP client. Then we move forward with the negotiations. We get a letter of intent, which is pretty much an offer outlining the purchase price as well as the terms we want in the deal. Okay. So once the agent receives a signed letter of intent, the agent will provide the AC with the following to audit the deal analyzer for accuracy, as we discussed: LOI, deal analyzer, listing additional information. So we do this twice just to make sure that we have every I dotted and T crossed. So the AC will decide which agent will shop the deal to the client first. Okay, so if the client agrees to the first agent's deal and wants to move forward, then that agent will see the client through the accuracy process, meaning, as I shared, we have multiple MAP agents who want to do business with our MAP clients. So they're all going to be in a feeding frenzy, finding deals, negotiating them, and presenting them. Now, we're going to have the AC kind of be that layer of protection to the MAP client to field the deals, make sure they are good deals, that is done accurately, and they present you with the deal. First come, first serve. And if you like the first one with agent Jane Doe, then fine, move forward with Jane Doe, okay? And if the client declines a deal, then an opportunity for another agent to shop the deal to the client. So it presents another opportunity, meaning if Jane Doe presents you a deal and you say, oh, I don't like it because the cash flow or what have you, whatever the situation would be, and if someone else, John Doe, happen to have, and that's a MAP agent, and they happen to have another deal, they can present it to you, okay? The deal that was declined will be shopped to another client that qualifies for that particular deal. So you might be saying, well, if that deal wasn't good for one MAP client, why would you present it to another one? Well, it makes sense because sometimes MAP clients may say, well, I get it that I can qualify up to 4 units. This duplex is cash flowing $500 a month. However, I'd rather have a 4 unit. I'd just rather wait in the queue to get a 4 unit. Again, you never know, there will be a 4 unit, right? There's no crystal ball that we can rub to say, oh yeah, there's a 4 unit out there that meets your $100,000 purchase price and we'll find it. We don't know if that really exists, right? However, some clients may have those
requests in regard to buying a property. They just want a 4-unit. But you, on the other hand, the second client down the pipeline might say, hey, that's $500 a month in cash flow for 2 units? And I only got to manage 2 units to get $500? By all means, sign me up for that. So that's pretty much what happens, okay? All right, next thing. So the AC does the third call to perform the deal presentation. So the agent shops deal to the map client, reviewing, using the following tools. So the deal analyzer. So this is when you'll receive information about the deal analyzer, listing, and the seller's disclosure form. Must have all residential property. So this means it's basically when we have a deal that pretty much is interesting, we'll present with you the deal analyzer, the listing. And if you're buying a residential property, which is any property between 1 to 4 units, the seller's disclosure, which means the seller has to disclose material things about the property, meaning is the roof straight? Was there any leaking? Was there any mold, mildew, anything like that? The seller is supposed to provide that information, okay, and provide it to you. All right, cool. So the buyer's agent, which is the map agent, okay, I'm going to be using those terms interchangeably, sends all acquisition documents to the buyer for signature, which means, hey, map client, you like this deal that Jane Doe, the real estate agent, provided? The cash flow is sweet, the cash on cash return is great, some value add opportunities, excellent. Now it's time to sign. We need you to sign the agreement of sale, which is the purchase and sale agreement, the contract. We also might need you to sign additional documentation to lock this property down so that we get it off the market and no one else can submit an offering and get that property, okay? So these are some of the documents we have the map client sign. Purchase and sale agreement, consumer notice, which is basically like, hey, consumer, buyer beware, you're buying this property, yada, yada, yada. Very simple legal terms that most real estate agents use. Lead paint disclosure, meaning if you have a property owned before, I think it's 1978, you gotta have these disclosures signed. If there's any mineral rights on the property, their estimated cost sheet. So you might be thinking, well, how do I know how much the closing costs will be? You know, when I buy this property, here you go right here, the cost sheet. Okay, so it may apply to you if you're buying properties 1 to 4. If it's above 5 and up, you might not receive that. But we'll let you know. We'll advise you what documents to sign. The buyer-tenant agency contract is between you and the map agent. Disclosure of financial interest form, which means that, hey, there could be a possibility that the agent gets commission or 100% finance or what have you. It's just a disclosure about any financial interest that either party may get from the transaction. Of course, people are working on your behalf to get compensated, to get paid, to get a commission. So they're incentivized to make sure that we or they do good by you so you can close on a property. All right, and also the appraisal contingency, meaning, hey, if the property doesn't come back appraised higher than the purchase price, you gotta lower the purchase price or we're not buying. Meaning, if you got on the contract a 4-unit for $100,000, get the appraisal done, comes back at $98,000. That's hey, it's only $2,000 difference, but hey, you're gonna have to lower that purchase price below $98,000 or lower, or we're not buying this property. That's what the appraisal contingency is for. So if the seller says, no, I'm not compromising, we agreed $100,000, I care less about this appraisal, blah, blah, blah. No worries, seller, no harm, no foul. We're gonna back out, get your earnest money deposits back. Got it? Now, the buyer's agent, which is the map agent, received the signed acquisition documents from the buyer, which are pretty much all these documents here. And we like to do everything electronic signatures and so forth. Okay, and the buyer's agent sends the following acquisition documents to the listing agent for the seller's signature. So you sign it first, meaning all these documents here, and some of these documents the seller has to sign, like the purchase and sale agreement. Then we'll send it to the seller to get this document fully executed, which means both the buyer and the seller signed off on the contract. Congrats, got a deal in the contract. Now the buyer's agent, the map agent, sends the following acquisition documents to the listing agent for the seller's signature, as I shared: purchase and sale agreement, appraisal contingency form, and then the buyer's agent receives a fully executed purchase and sale agreement along with the signed appraisal contingency form. Now this is the time when you celebrate. Phase 1, you found the money. Now phase 2, you got the deal. You found the deal. You got it in the contract. Now the next thing is due diligence. That's for another video.
Hey, hopefully you found value in that video in regards to finding the deal. Now the next video is performing due diligence. So make sure, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on your notifications so you get notified when the next video, performing due diligence, is released. And as always, guys, we love to check our comments. So if you have any questions about this video, place it in the comments below. All right, guys, as always, this is to your success. Continue to earn passively, live passionately. Peace.